You guys, it's me from Tuning Tech here, back again with another video. So I'm going to be talking about the Apple Watch Series 6 and the Fitbit Sense, and I returned the Fitbit Sense because the data I find to be kind of useless with the new sensors. The EDA sensor, I didn't know what to do with that. There wasn't helpful information. The sleep tracking was okay, but you need Fitbit Premium to go into further depth and analysis. And the skin temperature required 3 nights of sleeping, required a baseline, and it has variation. And I couldn't even hold on to the device for that long because I was just so dissatisfied with it. The GPS was off, the calorie tracking was off, the heart rate latency during weightlifting was off. It didn't keep up. And with the treadmill tracking, it didn't work out for me, man. And the Apple Watch Series 6 is a lot more intuitive. Obviously, with my iPhone, it's very helpful as a smartwatch as well. So I'm just going to show you the data. It's a couple of charts between my different workouts that I had. Then I'll talk about the use of the Apple Watch compared to the Fitbit and just how it just works better, especially if you have an iPhone, because obviously it will only work with an iPhone. So let's get into these charts and metrics and data analysis after the intro. So I ran 8.18 miles the other day, but the Fitbit tracked it as 7.91 due to GPS issues. An hour 24 was the time, 10:37 pace. You can see the splits each mile for each mile that I ran. And here we have elevation gain, 395 feet, because it was a very hilly route, so it did detect the elevation gains. You have your heart rate zones, an hour 5 in peak, 17 in cardio. You have your active minute zones. My max heart rate is 184, the average is 172, with 1,373 calories burned. So that data does seem acceptable and seems about accurate, but compared to the Apple Watch, when I'll show you in a little bit, it is kind of off, and the Apple Watch does have more accurate data, I believe, because the GPS was connected sooner and the heart rate latency was better on the Apple Watch Series 6. So I'm going to show you the Apple Watch Series 6 right now. So here we have the Apple Watch Series 6 data. An hour and 24, 8.18 miles, 1,550 active calories, 1,303 total calories. Elevation gain 407 feet. So there is a difference in elevation gain here, and there you have max elevation and minimum elevation, as well as your candidates. And it should have my steps per minute, I believe. Yeah, candidates is here at 154 steps per minute. And then you have your mile splits, your max heart rate with 190 being my max heart rate. And then it doesn't show the recoveries. I didn't give it time to do that. But then it also allows you to show you your map and your route that you ran with the different colors showing the different pace, with green being your fastest pace and yellow to red being your slowest pace. So I did do 2 laps of the same route. So the green obviously is the first lap because I did run faster. Obviously my first lap around in this route that I took. And yeah, the lines seem to be pretty accurate. You can change the terrain to be more satellite to get a more realistic look at your route. So yeah, there are lots of trees in my route. Ran towards the beach, so the route was mainly full of sand. It was good. It was a good run. So for this one, I have what I have? Workout. I categorized as workouts. So I was playing basketball, but here are the metrics for the basketball exercise. And then I'll compare it to the Apple Watch Series 6. Again, the latency with the heart rate. For some reason, it would never rise when it's supposed to. And I'll show you with the Apple Watch how it does. So the max heart rate when I was playing basketball was 176. And the max heart rate from the Fitbit was 150 something. And that's a 20 rate difference. I mean, the latency with the Fitbit is terrible. Whenever it was trying to peak or rise up, it was bad. Now, let me continue to talk about this with my Apple Watch and Fitbit. While I was doing my weightlifting at my gym, whenever I would finish a set, my Apple Watch would, the heart rate would rise because I'm tired from that set, and it'd be like 156. The Fitbit would stay at 115 the entire time. So that's just ugly and just inaccurate reading in general. And with that, I was very dissatisfied. So here's some treadmill data from the Fitbit Sense. I ran a mile. And clearly it does not track that mile. Running on the treadmill is very hard for smartwatches and fitness trackers. So I give it the benefit of the doubt, but the Apple Watch still did a little better, and I'll show you that in a little bit. But we have 0.54 miles for that 609. And at 609, because it took me a minute to stop tracking the workout, but you have your heart rate zones. I maxed out at 182, it looks like, with average 154. 9 minutes in the zone, which I don't know. I don't understand that because the run was only 6 minutes, so I don't really understand these metrics. Help me out in the comments below and to understand the active zone minutes, because I don't really get how I could have more minutes than my actual workout. So according to Fitbit, I burned 80 calories based off of this, and the calories burned is based off your heart rate. So if the heart rate is off, then the calories are off. So that's it with the Fitbit Sense. Now let's get into the Apple Watch data with the treadmill. So now we have indoor run, which is a treadmill, and we have 555 for 0.73, 89 calories burned, a total of 100, a max heart rate 160, or average heart rate 160 with a max 173. So that seems more accurate to me. Now we have the Life Fitness treadmill, which syncs to my phone and syncs to Apple Health. And the actual data was 5 minutes 49 seconds for that mile, with 127 calories burned, which may be a little off since it doesn't use my heart rate to detect the calories burned. The average heart rate 164, and it uses the heart rate data from the Apple Watch. So the Apple Watch was closer, meaning it wins this category for tracking treadmill workouts if you choose to do so that way. It is known for having really good sleep tracking, but bear in mind that to see the complete data, you need Fitbit Premium to see this. The blood oxygen variation while you're sleeping is data you cannot access, or resting heart rate while sleeping unless you have Fitbit Premium. Here you have your awake, REM, light, and deep sleep, and you're able to analyze this, and Fitbit gives you information to why REM and deep sleep are important and why it's a substantial part of your score. So Fitbit does a pretty good job with sleep tracking, but it does not track naps very well. And bear in mind that you needed at least 3 hours of sleep for Fitbit to give you the data. So now to track sleep on Apple Watch, the WatchOS 7 you have native sleep tracking, but there's no deep data like there are third-party apps. Here I'm showing you auto sleep. I also use Pillow, but auto sleep gives you a lot of data. So you have your sleep analysis. It shows awake, disrupted, light sleep, still and restful, deep sleep. There's a chart there. You can check your heart rate while you're sleeping. It'll tell you your resting heart rate. It'll show you your max heart rate and lowest heart rate, minimum heart rate while you're sleeping. So it's a very intuitive app, and it shows you a lot of data for sleeping, almost more than Fitbit, I would say. So as we scroll down, we have your heart report, and that shows you your dip, how much your heart rate dips while you sleep. And it is healthy for your heart rate to dip while sleeping to show that your heart is fit and just healthy and it's doing well while it's rested. Here it shows I got 10 hours of sleep in cycles. It wasn't in one sitting. And it shows your sleep debt, how much sleep you're missing out on, your sleep rating, your quality sleep, how many hours of quality sleep you get, your resting heart rate again, your heart rate and how it dips and fluctuates while you sleep. Obviously, when you're awake, your heart rate's going to raise up, and when you go to sleep, it'll be lower, and when you go into deep sleep, it should be at its lowest point. So here you have your deep sleep. It shows the average of 7 days, previous 7, 28 days, your goal about deep sleep and why it's important. It gives you a lot of information, more than Fitbit actually. So this app is pretty great, and I like using it. I think I had to pay one time for it, but it's worth the money if you want to know a lot about your sleep and how it's going. It does also track your readiness with your heart rate HRV, and having a waking heart rate that's low is apparently really good, and having a heart rate that's high while waking is not that good. And it shows a difference in milliseconds of heart rate dips, and shows you why readiness is important in the about section down there, so you can read about that if you would like, if you do download the app. And it just shows a lot more data, so I'm going to show you some more. So here it shows the clock. You can scroll through the different days and the history of your sleep. The data won't be that detailed if you're going for past history for sleeping, but it does still give the important essential details. So here you can see the history of sleep. You can edit. So that sums up the video, so it's very helpful. Talking about the Apple Watch Series 6 and the Fitbit Sense, which makes no sense because the data on the EDA is not useful. Skin temperature takes 3 days to make a baseline, and then just shows you fluctuations, not actual temperature. It doesn't show your core temperature, And then you have the ECG, which is not enabled till October, and Google Assistant is not enabled till later on. So Fitbit released a device that is not ready because there's still things yet to be allowed and updated so it can be used as it's supposed to be, with the ECG and Google Assistant, the speaker, and all that stuff. So I returned it, and I'm gonna be happy and satisfied with my Apple Watch Series 6 as it gets the job done. The data is accurate. I can use third-party apps to get deep metric data on my sleep, as well as using native sleep tracking, which isn't as good, but I mean, it is what it is. So Apple Watch Series 6, if you have an iPhone, without a doubt is going to be your best fitness tracker slash smartwatch. And if you have an Android, the Fitbit Sense will be a good device for you to use once everything is enabled via software updates and Google is enabled and the ECG is enabled, and you can make calls and texts and reply and stuff with the Fitbit Sense. You have an Android device, so that'd be good for you. Or you could check out the Samsung Galaxy Watch 3 or the Galaxy Active Watch 2. Those are also good alternatives, and of course there's a Garmin series, but I'm not too familiar with them. But I heard the Garmin series has very good fitness trackers. So, yeah, without a doubt, Apple Watch Series 6 is the winner here, hands down. So if you liked the video, subscribe, hit that like button, that bell icon. Stay tuned for my next video. Thanks for watching. Peace.